Guys, do you see this Russian air defense system S-300 there? Well, not any longer. It was a huge kaboom. So it was the special drone operation conducted by Ukrainian forces. You may see that Russians tried to put the S-300 system to this towing truck, but it was unsuccessful for them. Just a single drone drop caused some of the fire, and that fire led to a huge kaboom, absolutely tremendous one. The kaboom was filmed with different cameras, different perspectives, and we understand that S-300 system and the towing truck, they're no-go any longer, and it happened far behind the front lines. Yeah, everything is kaboom there. You can see a thermal camera. I wonder how we get this image. Maybe drone landed there. It again shows that Ukraine is capable to perform those kind of the drone operations far behind the front line. Just recall yesterday there was the case with supply train which was hit in Zaporizhia direction, and here is the Russian air defense system, and probably one of the most beautiful kabooms which I saw in this war. I would like to see it without thermal camera, obviously, just a nighttime image with lots of the flares. I think it was a fantastic firework, but we don't have that raw image from usual cam. And this is the geolocation where Ukraine ambushed the Russian air defense. It's roughly 40 kilometers away from the front lines. Nevertheless, Ukrainian drones somehow reached this area. So here is the village of Smirnovo, the closest settlement, and yesterday the train was kaputted, supply train, the big one was kaputted not far away from Tokmak. Definitely Ukrainian units who operate the drones here are very capable. Also, flat terrain without obstructions really help to maintain the constant and reliable drone signal. Alright, something is burning in Donetsk. According to the recent reports, there were several of the kabooms. Yeah, those are the Ukrainian drones, from what I can hear. Looks like Russians tried to shut everything down. Well, there are some of the sources which report that it was a Russian base under attack. Because Donetsk is still the main hub for Russians, but I'm still waiting for the final confirmation of what was hit there. And by the way, Russia also launched their drone attack on Ukraine. Numerous of the drones were spotted in Ukrainian airspace. Alright, as for the situation in Pokrovsk, Ukraine keeps the advantage over the Russian army with the recently gained reinforcements from emergency brigades, including Azov. According to the latest information, Russians were kicked from the Kucheryev Yar, but still they remain in the local forest patch. Also, our officer commander on the ground confirms that Russia wants to send emergency reinforcements from their side. This time we are speaking about at least 1,000 of the Russian troops, which they might send to the same direction, trying to regain control over the recently lost areas in Zoloty Kolodets. So, as the officer plus stated, the operation in Dobropilya direction is far to be completely resolved. It is still difficult for our army, and you may see Russia even start to use some of the gliding bombs on Dobropilya itself. But Ukraine does everything for Russia not to be successful in this region, and we also do not see any sort of the movement towards Pokrovsk or Mirnograd recently. But where Russia moved recently is in Sreblansky forest. They gained more of the territory. We have it in a recent update from the deep state military map source, so it was yesterday and it is today. You see, they've took it. And the fights are ongoing in Srebrenica itself. Russians already put their flags there 3 days ago, but the Russian soldiers who installed those flags, they were just kaputted. However, the fact that Russians went to Srebrenica and put their flags, it shows that Ukraine withdrew the forces already from the settlement. Russians also moved in Olkhivsk, this is Zaporizhia Oblast, and it was yesterday, today, just a light movement, not a significant one. However, they might advance towards this very small settlement. And as for the front line itself, that's pretty much it for the last 24 hours. So I would say that the pace of the Russian army advancement slowed down gradually for the last few days. It was really fast here, but with the Ukrainian counterattack, the assault was cancelled, and it seems like Russia lost initiative elsewhere. Yes, they move like in Sreblansky forest and here as I showed you, but this is not the fast movement, uncomparable to what they've done recently in Pokrovsk direction and Dobropilya. As for the confirmed losses, Russia lost the Grad system, it was kaboomed, BM-21, yeah, Grad, standard one. Also, Gvozdika system was kaputted with the help of the Ukrainian drones. And this is kind of the interesting video. This is the Kupiansk direction. Ukrainian army tries to stop the Russian offensive to Kupiansk, and here Russians barricaded themselves in the basement of this small barn, or how to call the structure in English, just a house, could be house for cows or pigs, well, fits Russian soldiers exactly, and this tank fired straight forward to the building, very close, and for sure there are no more anything. Well, tank survived obviously, but Russians no. A 93rd Motorized Brigade of Ukrainian Army and a dog. This is Dobropilya, Pokrovsk direction. Ukrainian army went on attack. I cannot show you this image fully, but this is the beginning of the counterattack with emergency forces. So not just Azov was deployed, but also guys from 93rd, Da Vinci Wolves, also I think 25th Brigade, 93rd Brigade, and yeah, some others too. In cooperation done, it was a successful counterattack, which brought minimum losses actually for Ukraine, because Russians didn't expect it to happen. Zarychna village, not far away from Torsk, and this is Ukrainian Tank, I think T-64, which operates against the Russian army deployed in the local households. Guys from 63rd Motorized Brigade send their tank, and usually I see this kind of the operation. Lonely Tank operates like Lonely Wolf with support of the Ukrainian surveillance drones and FPV drones. Well, there were the Russian infantry. They didn't have any sort of the anti-tank weapons, so they were just captured by tank, and tank left the area very fast. Yeah, big kaboom, bada boom, you may call it. Wow, it's something new, a Baba Yaga style drone with artillery shell, 155mm for sure, and it's there not just for funny photo or something, no, it is the real system which drops it. And here is some sort of the connect at the back, maybe to detonate it. It's interesting. Ukraine comes out with new solutions, and this drone, it is just huge. By the way, Russians do not use mostly those kind of the Baba Yaga drones, big drones able to carry lots of the payloads, delivering goods to Russian heads. Oh my god, one more Russian motorcycle gang, you can see Enduro motorcycle. Can I really show what it was for them? I don't think so, guys, but usually motorcycle assaults finish like really terrible for them, very terrible. Yeah, definitely it was crazy to watch it, so for sure I will share it on my Telegram, alright? Alright, here we have the vehicle losses for the last week, and Russians lost way more this time compared to Ukraine. If we speak about the tanks, it's devastating for Russia. 12 main battle tanks, 12 destroyed, and 5 old losses have been confirmed, and Ukraine lost 2 of the tanks. Wow. Plus Russia lost way more infantry fighting vehicles compared to Ukraine, 7 versus 3. Well, Ukraine lost more MRAPs because Russians, they usually do not have MRAPs. Very rarely there is some Tiger vehicle or Akhmat vehicle spotted behind the front lines being attacked by Ukrainian drones, but Ukraine actively using MRAPs, landing infantry forces on Russian positions for actual fight. Well, overall the news are great because there was the time like the first week of August or the last week of July, I don't remember actually, where the losses were almost equal, and Ukraine actually lost more of the vehicles compared to Russia. Was 1 week. Well, honestly, it's interesting for me why it's like that this week, because Ukraine started the counteroffensive operation in Dobropilya, Pokrovsk direction. I think it should have lost more of the vehicles, but we'll see. The date goes to 17th of August. We have to wait for 1 more week to see the most recent updates for the vehicle losses. Russians already have the alert for Flamingo missile. This is the auto-translate from Russian military blogger. From Cherkova to the east, missile flies. Yeah, really? Yeah, just to recall, Ukraine already tested the Flamingo missile with extraordinary range of 3,000 kilometers, able to cover all of the Russia, even behind Ural mountains, from what I see. Yeah, Russian military bloggers are panicking, claiming that Ukraine used new long-range Flamingo-type cruise missiles in the Rostov region, which resulted in series of big kabooms. Well, maybe Ukraine provides the new tests to check out the range of missiles starting from Rostov region. Who knows? And guys, please check out my channel for different videos I filmed recently, for example, about the train which was kaboomed or about the possible meeting between Zelensky, Trump and Putin. By the way, we have some of the updates relative to that possible meeting and I'm gonna speak about it in next video. Well, this video you're watching is mainly dedicated to the situation on the ground. And my friends, thank you so much for supporting my job on Patreon. The link for my Patreon is available in the video description just below. You are awesome. Thank you so much for your motivation. My friends, I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are and have a great time.